videos.
This
80 fucking episodes, oh my god.
kiss
With WATTO in his basement and 31 flavors.
list.
But the S is all dollar signs, oh my god. Will achieve gold and Robert Wuhl. Bacon and eggs and double fried hash browns.
Yes.
Haven't told Hunter with the super duper pants.
Less.
S is all dollar signs, oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Was there a no athletes harmed in the end?
Hold on, only one athlete was harmed during the filming of this show, and he deserved it. Little variation there.
Oh, so that was Kirby.
Yeah. He deserved it. Okay. Someone pointed on The Last Dance starts at 9 p.m. I forgot. I'm going to roll straight into that.
I mean, guys, we're going to go a little past 9. I'm so sorry to let you know, but we will be watching the Mariah Carey Christmas spectacular.
We might still finish before 9.
Maybe.
The total length of the Mariah Carey.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm good whenever you guys are.
21, 24.
Can you hear me?
28, 31. It's 31 hours of Mariah
Are we ready to go?
hilarity. Yes.
31
ready?
hours?
No, 31
Alright.
minutes.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
3,
Yep.
2, 1, start.
Episode 11, The Stuff Dreams Are Made Of.
George, get your pillow.
Oh, yeah.
And now, guys, we have a guest who's going to be joining us for the finale.
For the finale.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to add him to the stream right now, and we can explain to him why we have the pillows on.
Fair enough.
Okay.
There he is.
Hey!
Robert,
Hey guys, how are you?
Oh, so good.
we're doing very well. How are you?
I'm fine. This is great. I hope you've raised a buck. Have you raised any money?
Yes, we're wearing pillows on our heads right now.
And what is that for?
It was a stretch goal. We said if we got past a certain point, we would wear the pillows.
Okay, let's get some more money.
So we got the 1,500, Robert.
Okay, so Patrick, what do you think of my idea? Is that okay?
I think you should pitch it. I think it's a very good idea.
I know, but I want to make sure you think it's cool or not. I mean,
I do. I do.
I say let's raise money. If you got people watching this and they stuck with you, God bless them, first of all. And should I like sign autograph, personalized pictures or something like that? We could raise some money.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think the way we do this is, guys, Robert, do you want to stick with the number that we said, or what would you like to do?
You can go. You guys pick a number. What do you think the number should be?
Let's do $25. Robert will sign a picture, and if you email the George Lucas Talk Show at gmail.com, I will get your information, your address, and everything, and we'll get it to him.
Yeah, sure. Personalize it. I'll get it right here. If I got their name, I can do that. That's kind of cool. Let's do it. It's good. Go to the food bank. Come on.
We're doing it.
You put you through this thing.
We've been having fun. It's been fun.
Have you enjoyed it? I have not. You know, it's funny. It's our rookie season.
Yeah.
And I watched it also because in case there was questions, I have not seen this in probably every episode in probably 25 years, 24 years.
Yeah.
And I noticed I had more hair, a lot less weight. And also how good Sandra Oh is.
Good actor.
And some of it was quite smart. It was good. You know, like I said, it was our rookie year. And what's interesting is as the seasons went on, the storytelling becomes darker and it becomes more. The show evolved totally evolved. And then we got into social issues a lot, but it was still entertaining. It was always comedic. We always had something funny. I'm a comic.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Bobby.
Yeah.
We noticed that in this season, Michael Boatman is credited as a guest star.
That's correct.
When does he become a full regular cast member?
I think it's next year. The reason was,
Yes, please.
he was doing Spin City at the same time, and so contractually, it was a contractual thing. And I think it might be year 2. I think year 2 it might happen. What's more fun, watching and also it's 25 years ago, and I'm watching certain idioms or things that were politically incorrect now. Yeah. And there's a couple of ouch moments, like when I had Charlie Steiner, he says, "Hey, bump Payne Stewart." Well, Payne Stewart later got killed in a plane crash, you know. It's like, so, you know, stuff like that. You can't help that. I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah. But actually, the last episode is my favorite episode. It was the end of our rookie year, as I said. We didn't know if we were coming back or not. So I said, you know, let's try something a little bit different. Here's where we start to change tones and mix and match and start getting really good. Well, not all the actors were good, but here's where we start getting bigger names. Ken Howard plays a Mickey Mantle-esque character.
The late great Ken Howard.
The great Ken Howard. He was the White Shadow, and Ken Howard was. We had used him twice. Once to play a Mickey Mantle type character, and once to play a Bobby Knight type character. Oh, and he's so good. Plus, you might recognize a piece of music. I started licensing score a lot, and for music. And some of it had to be changed when they put streaming because of music rights. We had to change it, and we didn't, because back then we didn't have to clear any music rights. There was no streaming. So, but this one I begged for them to keep, and it's in the beginning and the end. And you guys recognize a piece of music, but it is. Yeah.
I'll turn it up when we get to the end of the episode.
Well, it's on the beginning too.
Oh, is it here? We're at the scene with you and Ken Howard at the bar.
When he first sees him, there's a piece of music.
I think we might have already
we've gone past that now. We'll catch it at the end.
Okay. Yeah. It's a very famous piece of music in movies. Because this is the episode where this is what changed. Plus, it was a very clever idea. What the idea of how to get some money out of people.
Robert, who were your favorite guest stars in the first season that you remember?
You mean the athletes, or you mean the guest stars?
Anybody.
All of the above.
Well, the athletes were all pretty good. You know, the key is not to ask them to do something they're not capable of doing. Yeah. Pretty stupid. Now, here's the thing about athletes. Most athletes are pretty coachable, which means they take direction. Well, the more reps they do, the more takes, it's like a rep. They get better and better and better. Obviously, some are much better than others. My favorite guest stars. Wow, I'm trying to think who was on. Joey Pants was great. We were friends. Yeah. In the episode you just had, the one with the fantasy, all the guys coming back, they're quite cool. And I see Brandon Tartikoff. May he rest in peace. There's a couple of
Robert Shapiro.
Yeah, Robert Shapiro showed up.
Yes, Shapiro became a running gag on the show. He came in a lot. He became Arl's attorney later on.
Great. Great.
It was, what else? Most of the time, the athletes we were still finding our way. I mean, I was doing these stories, and remember, we never had connecting stories. It was always beginning, middle, and end each episode. So to me, they were like 25-minute, one act, or not one act, 25-minute little movies, little stories.
You kept them contained.
And again, we're finding our way, and I see some of them that I really think held up pretty well. The one when the religious quarterback picked up the hooker, I thought that held up pretty well. But this is the better. This one. He's so good. And again, some of the writing. I only lost one writer in 7 years. My writing staff now is, and he went to the West Wing. Sorkin poached them from me. Yeah. We had a couple of them were playwrights, and another one is a novelist. I had an antipathy towards California-based, born and raised writers. especially Hollywood. I hate it. We did it in Hollywood, but I don't like being from the East Coast. I always found the writers from California, all they did was cannibalize old TV series. I wanted people who had lived. I wanted people, tell me a story about yourself. And a lot of these stories came from our writing staff, that somebody would do something. Anything you said in that room was up for grabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great.
So I wanted that, and people would tell me some of the shit that they did. And I had a bunch of ex-drunks, and or maybe they weren't so ex, and a drug addict. So I love that, because the best thing about the show to me was, especially as we went on. You know who Fran Lebowitz is? That acerbic writer. Yeah, right. Always dressed like Oscar Wilde. She came up to me one time at a party at Tribeca Film Festival. And she's chain smoking, and she goes, "I hate sports, but I love your show." And I said, because it's not about sports; it's about characters in the world of sports. That's totally different. Sports is usually about big games, bullshit like that, But we get characters. The better character-driven pieces. Bull Durham is a character-driven piece. Bang the Drum Slowly, Raging Bull. They're not about sports. They're about the characters.
Yeah.
They happen to work in the world of sports, which is something I knew something about.
Right. And also you're using this setting to tell a lot of different kinds of stories. You have episodes where you're talking about race. You have episodes where you're talking about business and
and it got more so. We got into domestic abuse. We got into steroids. We got into alcoholism and gay athletes, trigender athletes. We got into trigender. We got into all kinds of divorced, abortion issues. We have, so we, like I said, the show really evolves. It evolves. It gets darker and also. Something else, because I was on. They moved our time slot every year, first 4 years, and so we started on like a 10:30 on a Thursday. Then we moved to a Saturday. Then we were moved to Sunday. Then we got going when we got behind Sex and the City. Now, what that meant, which was that it helped me because we went from an audience. Now, we were obviously predominantly male when we went on. I think we might have been 74% male.
Mm-hmm.
But having Sex in the City in front of me, I had to hold on to as much of that audience as I could. So I start moving episodes and storylines more towards Sandra. Mm-hmm. She was my connection to that audience. And her dress and everything. And plus, we were all finding our way. We all got more confidence. We got better. And our ratings went up every year for 7 years. That's very few series ever do that. We went up every year for 7 years.
That's my big question for you, Robert. You talk about this being a rookie season, how much the show developed. You had done, you had an illustrious film career at this point. You had done a lot as a comedian and a writer. But this is like, you're number one on the call sheet, and you're writing episodes, and you're directing episodes. Like, this is, in terms of what was being put on your plate and how much you were the guy in all of those areas, was there an adjustment at all for this show?
I had just done a movie, and I did the same thing beforehand. I was fairly comfortable with doing all that. Yeah. What I would have been better at, looking back, is just the nature of dealing with people. Sure. I would have been better at that. Because you trust people more. But at the time, I always felt every episode could be our last. Yeah. So, we were always the stepchild over there. People either
interesting.
The critics loved us or hated us. The public loved us or hated us.
Yeah.
There was very little middle ground. But by the end of the series, by the way, I said we were 74% male. By the end of the series, we were 53% female, which I was very proud. I mean, in the show, and I got to trust myself more. My performances got much better. Pushed it a little bit at times in the first week of the season. And again, we got great actors, Ed Asner and Eileen Brennan. And the last thing James Coburn does is Arli. He plays DiMaggio. Wow. And we had great Charlie Gurney. We had like 5 Oscar winners and about 45 Tony I mean, Emmy winners, studio people. I mean, theater people. It was great. In fact, had we got another year, Idris Elba wanted to come on, play a Lennox Lewis type of boxer.
Wow.
Didn't happen.
It is interesting.
Hang on. I will say we have raised $325 since Robert's come on.
Let's keep going. Keep going.
Great. We got a lot coming. And
hey, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this again next week?
Every week until we finish.
So let's figure out a way to make money from the get-go. Maybe we start doing this from the get-go.
Sure.
You know, because I mean, like, you know, we're here to raise money. I mean, I appreciate the hell out of you doing this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, also this way I have to watch them again, which it's like I haven't. The only time I've watched them is when they were going to reach, like I said, when they were stripping out the music for streaming, and I had to watch certain episodes because they were changing the music.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen them, and you know, also it's great because I realize I'm old, which is good. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's important to know how old you are.
Bob, you're not.
I just had a 76th birthday this week. I just turned 76.
George, you are, you know, you're amazing. You know, but I'm married to the same woman for 37 years. You got younger pussy. You know,
Bob.
I mean, let's call it like it is.
Bob.
You know, my career peaks back then. You got Star Wars money coming in here. I mean, you go to the mailbox and you got $1 million coming in a day.
It's true.
No
now,
wonder
George had something he might be working on for this. George, you want to tell Robert about what we had talked about?
Which you set it up. I'm not sure what exactly you're referring to.
We want the prequel script that you want to write.
Oh, right. Well, we're talking about, as we're setting stretch goals for this, and I don't remember what we agreed to, because that was like an hour ago. What was it that we had agreed to?
Well, this is, look, here's the first thing, okay? The first thing is, our hope is, over these next several weeks, we start to build up the support for the idea of bringing back Arliss in some form, right? But it's a little bit tricky. I don't know if you've noticed, Bob, by the way, but you are on the pillow that we are wearing.
That pillow was in my mother-in-law's house from the time it came out until the time we sold the house 2 years ago.
Wow.
Really.
It's a very tiny pillow.
It's great that you got it. You know.
The thought was, okay, so A, George is kind of an expert at prequels, right? He's very good at fleshing out the backstory. And B, it's very hard to film a live-action TV show right now during this pandemic. But animation can be done.
Is it?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
And so
I don't see the Arliss Zoom. You're right.
Right. Okay. Ready for George's pitch? Get ready for this.
I'm ready. Actually, this has been talk. As you say this, in the last month before the Corona hit, there was actually a big hitter that wanted to reboot the show and was talking with HBO. So I got to tell you something. I see. Listen, guys, if we get rebooted, you got jobs.
Well, that's good to hear.
We got jobs. Hey, listen, I've worked with you guys. You know, I know how good you are.
I can hear that EP.
My age, I'm going to step back. And my pitch also is, if we're going to do it today, you got to open up the agency. He wouldn't just be doing sports now. He would be Live Nation. He would be Irving Ace, you know. So that way we could do, you know, different facets for representing stadiums and rock stars and music acts and sports. And sports. You know, let's open this thing up.
PewDiePie.
But George wants to. We talked about writing a Arliss prequel animated show. That's what George wants to do.
And I know, Robert, that I know you're not a Star Wars guy. That's fine. But I'll bet that you're familiar with, in the past 6 months or so, there's been a thing online. There was a Star Wars show. I had nothing to do with it. I gave one piece of advice. I said, make sure you remember that if you make something for kids, you'll do well. And lo and behold, Baby Yoda.
True.
You've heard of Baby Yoda, Arliss?
I have.
I mean, Robert?
Love this.
Imagine this. baby Arliss. Animated, online. We can get this done while everyone's locked down. What could be cuter than a little baby Arliss in his little suit making deals? Like
a young Sheldon type of thing.
Yeah,
very much, but animated.
You should know
Animated.
the line producer of Arliss produces young Sheldon.
And we already got a team together for this thing. We're talking Baby Kirby.
There you go. Also, by the way,
Baby Kirby.
my partner on this, Mike Tolan,
Yeah.
is the lead producer of The Last Dance.
Oh.
There we go. Here we go.
Now, where are you in the episode right now?
You're on a QVC type show right now.
The Seed of Champions.
It just sold out.
Yeah, what it is, that one, you know, I don't know if you're watching, but
Yes.
Arliss got an idea to sell this guy's, semen. I mean, he's male, and I thought, that's not beyond craziness. If you have these people in vitro, why wouldn't she, she does a scene where she's trying to get Kevin Costner and Denzel and these people to do this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's inconceivable.
The genes. Oh.
So that was the idea there, and I thought we had some fun with that.
It's a lot of fun.
Did you know any of the cast before the show started, Robert, or was
I
this
had
all?
met Jim Turner.
Yeah.
Jim Turner, you're too young to remember that in the early days of MTV, there was a character named Randy of the Red. And he was this, kind of
I remember.
guy, but he was very funny. And Jim's one of the great improv actors. He's a great comic actor. He does a lot of work with Jack Black and Two-Legged Dog, and a lot of that whole team there that's all Turner. Sandra auditioned, and I chose her because there was two people who came down to the final. It was Sandra and what is her name? The Gilmore Girls.
Lauren Graham.
Lord Graham.
Lauren Graham. Those were the two finals. Those were two finals, and I got to tell you, either one would have been great. And I just wanted a couple of things. One is I Sandra. There was a quality. I didn't know what I was going to get. I liked that. Number two is I was very cognizant of having a multiracial cast because I was dealing with the studio. I mean, the agency would have multiracial clients.
Yeah.
So it was imperative as much to have as multiracial cast as I could get. So Hank Boatman, hence the cast.
Yeah.
Now,
great. All really good.
Now, Robert, I have a question. You directed the episode "Crossing the Line."
Is that the girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that Arli? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And which is one of the episodes where it really felt like the stakes were suddenly very personal. It felt like a sort of like a landmark episode within the arc of the first season, because as the title indicated, Arliss really did cross the line. You direct more and more episodes as the series continues, but how did it feel directing that episode in season 1?
Oh, it was fine. I mean, it was. I was old. I think I said talk about dealing with people. I was pretty tough the first year on the directors because I was, the TV director is not like a movie director. I was controlling the editing. I was controlling the scoring. So if we had a difference of a shot, I'd say, "How am I going to cut this?" I go, "This is not going to cut," And so. Right. I mean, what I also did is, again, I'm a big loyalty fan. By the time season 6 and 7 comes around, everybody in the crew directs because they knew I was there. So I promoted everybody: the DP, the producers, the assistant producers, the editor got to direct. Everybody got to direct because they got into the DPA that way.
You got to look out for your family.
Always.
Now.
My motto in life is always better when the home team wins. And I don't mean just in sports. I mean in business, in family, politics. Life is better when the home team wins.
I love it, Bobby.
So that's what I said. If you get this thing, we got jobs.
Yeah.
We're on the home team. We're on the home team now.
Now, when you see the scene, I don't know if it's there yet when Arliss is at the track and he meets with.
Yeah.
We're literally on it right now.
Okay.
Yes.
When Ken Howard says, "I've got something for you," and he hands him something, you'll hear the music coming.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm turning it back
talking
up.
about Chris right now.
know who he told life he wanted to be? Kim Novak. Mickey Mouse. Kim Novak. How come you don't laugh? That's why I'm here. How come you don't laugh? Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Sex trafficking. New video. Sex trafficking.
Man, Ken Howard was a tall guy.
Yeah.
I used to say I didn't want to jump in baseball because I couldn't play. Those players
I love that. We're just all watching it.
I guess after seeing the TV thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Ken was he the SAG president?
He was the president of SAG, yes.
Just after.
Yeah.
He's great on 30 Rock too.
He's a great actor. He was great.
Yeah.
A sweet man.
A gentle giant.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you wrote The Rock before The Rock was The Rock. You were royalty to use that name.
Let you trust an agent.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Brought you something.
I brought you something.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know if you were really in the ballpark.
Chinatown.
Chinatown.
There it is.
It's my 500 home run ball.
It's very fun.
Thank you.
Now, Robert, where did the name Arliss come from?
Oh, good question. I was looking for a name. There was guys like Lee Steinberg and Arn Tellem.
Yeah.
And there's an actor named Arliss. So I said, Arliss sounds, But I realized once I wrote the name, after the S's, I could put dollar signs.
Oh, that was a winning move.
Yeah.
Yeah, to tell the story.
Now I at the end of the episode you directed. Now, first of all, 2 questions about that episode. Did you really get your ear pierced?
No.
Or is that an effect?
No, it was a clip-on or something like that.
It was a clip-on. All right. And at the end, you replaced your name credit with a joke credit, which was
with the earring.
Yeah. Now, did you have to? Because I know sometimes that can be difficult dealing with guilds and things like that. Credit. Or did you have to get special permission for that?
Well, because it was an executive producer credit. If it was a DGA writer or director credit, I may have had to. But because it was executive producer credit, I never thought about it.
Wow.
Right, because I dropped out of the DGA because at the end of the second Star Wars movie, I wanted the director credit to come at the end, and the DGA didn't want to allow that, so I dropped out of the guild.
Yeah, and good for you. And look at you now. I mean, all the movies now end with the director credit after the
Yeah.
after the movie.
He changed the game, George.
Yeah, well, George did change the game in a couple of ways.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah. How much did it set you back having the Chinatown theme?
I never paid. It was HBO money. I didn't care. I always had this theory that, first of all, we were the cheapest show on HBO, and something I'm proud of is we came in. We did 80 episodes, and we came in every episode on time and under budget. And I'm very proud of that.
It's great.
The Chinatown was Jerry Goldsmith, and I wound up flying next to Jerry Goldsmith on a plane. And I told him, first of all, it's Jerry Goldsmith. And I spoke to him about who also did the LA Confidential score, which is something similar.
Yeah,
and
Gremlins too. Yeah, great score.
Gremlins, what a great score! What a great movie. Jerry Goldsmith.
I believe he also did some Star Trek, didn't he?
I believe
so. I think he did.
Yeah.
A legend.
But Chinatown, I started because I had this theory about money at HBO. We every other show, Sex and the City, Sopranos, they were so far over budget and everything else that we were the stepchild, that we were treated as like that. So my theory was spend every penny you can because when they don't want you, they're not going to give you $1.01. So spend everything you can now.
Yeah.
Because when they don't want you, I'll say, well, I'll do it. No, we don't want you. So you're not going to get the first dollar.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bob, I have a big question for you.
Yeah.
We noticed in the early episodes there is the disclaimer at the end: no real athletes were harmed in the making of this show. But in these last 2 episodes, it changes to only one athlete was harmed in the making of this show, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
Explain.
This was at the forefront when, remember, this is 96.
Of course.
So this is when we first started to have these things at the end of movies. No animals were hurt during the making of the show.
Right.
So we were playing off of that, and no athlete was hurt off this show.
It was topical.
It was very topical. And then by the end, I said, well, let's have some fun with this now.
Yeah.
Nobody was hurt, It's like, so it was just some jokes. I mean, really.
You got a playful spirit. Your mind is never at rest.
I didn't take that kind of stuff all that seriously.
Yeah.
I took the work seriously, and the people, and it's also great. Hey, did you see Kobe Bryant?
I know.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he ever did. That was a week after he signed. He was 17 then. That was a week after he signed the $40 million contract with the Lakers. This was the first thing he did. So I knew that he grew up in Italy, and born and raised. So I knew he spoke Italian.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun. Let's do something with fun. We're speaking Italian, and he was great, and we always had a nice relationship. But the funny thing was, during the shooting, there was a woman off to the side watching our every move, and I didn't know who she was. And I asked my producer, "Who's that woman over there?" And he goes, "That's his social worker." I said, "His what?" He goes, "His social worker." I go, "He just signed a $44 million contract. Where can I get a social worker?" It's like it's so. But that was the very first thing he ever did. He was he was so, famous.
That's cool that you got in there early. That's a piece of history right there.
How many we sell? How many autographs so far?
So we are at 1953 last time I refreshed, which is a lot of autographs, which is awesome.
Okay. So now if we start this way for the hours, we could. We might be able to make some money for you guys.
Yeah. So next week we will start with that, and then we can figure that out and go from there, I guess.
Yeah.
I get it's like, what else can we sell off? What else can I get?
Baseballs. Let's get some signed baseballs.
I don't have baseballs. I'm trying to think what I have. I used to have some hats. I don't think I do anymore.
Oh, you mean like this?
Whoa!
Oh,
man!
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That feels good.
That's a good one.
What does it say on the hat you're wearing right now?
Oh, it says, "Life's not fair. Get over it."
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was my manager's motto. He was a gruff guy. He was also Jerry Seinfeld's manager. And there was a story.
George Shapiro?
He's George's partner, Howard West.
Yeah. Howard.
And Howard was, I don't know if you remember a show called The Paper Chase, which had a really tough law teacher. I mean, a really gruff disciplinarian, but he reminded me of him. But he had this great story that we actually used in Arli in an episode of, I think about 2 years, season 3 or 4, season 3, I think, where he was telling me about when Seinfeld was at its height, Jerry was renegotiating his contract. And one of the things that NBC offered him was 100 hours on the NBC jet. And Jerry started to talk to Howard. That's not such a bad thing. And then Howard, gruff as he always said, he goes, "You fucking actors and your perks. You don't give a fuck about his perks. Idiot. For the money I'm going to get you, you can buy the fucking airplane." But that was Howard.
Great. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It's life's not fair. Get over it. You want the guy to wallow. He moved on. It's actually a good lesson, I think.
well, we did it, guys.
We did it. One season down, 6 to go. And what a joy it's been, and what a joy it will continue to be.
Was it that? How painful was this?
No, it was a warm bath.
Especially, I figured the one thing good was the episode is short, and after Star Wars, this is a day in the park.
Yes. We got through 11 episodes in the time it took us to get through 2 of Star Wars, you know?
It's like
raise more money. You raise more money.
Much better run rate. Much better run rate.
Yeah. So
I could easily I could easily watch 2 more seasons right now without breaking a sweat.
Without blinking.
George, by the way, George, when you see your friend Connor, tell him thank you for me.
Oh, I absolutely will. I absolutely will.
Hey, so what is George? What are you guys doing during this downtime? What are you doing? What's anybody?
Great question, George. You want to take this one?
I mean, you are participating in one of the main things.
Yeah,
pretty much it.
There's not a lot that one can do in this, but now I'll have my mind is already percolating, thinking about I don't want to get too far ahead of my skis in this because I want to see the way the next 6 seasons unfold before I think too much about it. But I'm already thinking about Baby Arliss and how this could become a phenomenon.
Well, that's great to have a fresh mind there. I appreciate it a lot.
And
because I think it could plant the seed for that season 8 of fully grown up Arliss.
And you pointed out, Bob, you got Tolan as one of the producers who's doing Last Dance, but the other producer there is Brian Robbins, who's now the head of Nickelodeon. That would be a great home for Arliss babies.
And think of it this way.
I can't wait to tell him.
Perfect.
Your third executive producer, George Lucas, which brings a lot of clout.
That's true. I mean, really.
Right.
Tolan, Robbins, Lucas, Watto. You got those people.
You know what they also did? Lucas, I mean, Robbins and Robbins did all that with Michelle and well, you're going to see in one of the episodes, might be the next year, it might be year 2, you're going to see, what was the name? Big Nickelodeon star, went a little crazy.
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes is on the show, yeah. Amanda, she plays it was a story about some athlete who divorced her parents. So we always have to, all these stories are pretty much based in some realistic story that we've heard or something like that. And so usually we would switch the sport because we didn't want to be right on the nose. And we didn't want to embarrass people because people are about real people. And, next it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we get better. It's really interesting where, how it evolves. Like I said, I'm enjoying because look, I'm getting to see something I haven't seen in a while. I don't.
And hey, also you're getting some residuals from everyone rewatching.
Actually, no, the only residual I get is from the Directors Guild. Writers Guild, sad pace. We were on this earliest HBO contract, and we were just before Sopranos and Sex and the City. So I did more. I did 2 episodes, I think, of Family Guy. And was it Family Guy or American Dad?
American Dad.
I get more residuals from the 3 episodes of American Dad than I do from ours.
What?
Except for the director.
What can we do to help with the residuals? Does it help if we ask people to keep re-clicking on Crossing the Line, episode 7?
No, we get paid one flat fee. I've already got it.
Oh. What can people click? What can people click?
Joe, I mean, just to try to, getting through it.
But what people should really click on is your episodes of American Dad. That sounds like that's a cash cow for you.
No, because there's not that much. No, I'm just saying I got more for those 3. That's because how little I get for ours.
Fair enough.
Maybe just a calf, not a cow, not a full cow, a cash calf.
It's more like a nail of a calf.
Oh, a cash hoof.
Yeah, cash hoof. Not even a hoof.
Not even a hoof.
It's more like a cow chip.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, we should wrap up. Robert, thank you so much for stopping by.
We'll see you guys next week. Go watch Last Dance. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Bye, guys. Let me know about the autograph.
I will.
A gentleman and a scholar.
Bye.
Bye.
Do we have any Arliss names that we need to do for people?
Well, we should be watching Mariah Carey.
I know. We have all night for that.
Okay. We'll do an Arliss name then.
I feel like as a palate cleanser, we should before we go into, we should do at least one R-list name to someone who donated.
I agree, and I also, now that we're done with the season, I felt like I want to break out a bottle of my finest Skywalker Ranch wine.
Whoa.
I can't believe I don't have a bottle of that here.
I know. Well, just go drink your backyard.
You go drink your backyard.
Hey, you watch it, George. Don't get saucy with me.
Guys, we got
All right.
Jonathan Hensley, who's I believe has been in here all day.
All right, let's get those S's. Let's get those S's. Double them and dollar them.
Double them and dollar them, baby.
Guys, I want to say this. Robert Wuhl, good guy.
Great guy.
Good guy. I hope he comes back all the time.
Here's another thing I hope.
Yeah.
I hope we get to hear the Fran Lebowitz anecdote every week. It gets better every time I hear it.
Let's take that Y and make it the yen.
Yep. And we've been using the filing cabinet as an H, but someone suggested maybe also a floppy disk could be an H. And at the time of the era, it earmarks the mid to late 90s when R-list was really going strong.
There we go.
Euro. Let's do the euro for those E's. Let's get a baseball in there for that O. I mean, we're just old hands at this now. We got the golf club for that J.
Not a golf club.
What is it? Hockey stick?
Well, let's use the what is that? Field hockey?
Field hockey.
Yeah.
Let's use the field hockey.
And how about I got an idea. Let's try something a little bit wild here. How about we use the soccer net as an A?
Oh, wow. Sure.
All right. After that soccer net for the A, put an R, L, I, and then $2 signs.
Now, look, we're trying to be forward-thinking here, but it's always important to remember where you came from. I think the second H should be a filing cabinet. So we can have one for the future, one for
I also want to make sure people know we're not doing that after the A every time. It's special.
It's special.
I don't want to pull the trigger on that every time. We haven't done it every time.
No. Guys, also reminder, if you keep donating, those signed pictures will get mailed to you.
This is very true.
This was also, I want to be clear, a suggestion from Robert himself.
Robert is very generous with his time and with his signature. Let's say also, I want to make it very clear, Ron Howard just texted me and said, I have a meeting to go to. I'm not going to watch the Mariah Carey sketches.
I don't know why Ron Howard is so strangely invested
in his game. Why does he care?
Who has a meeting on Sunday night after dark?
In a pandemic.
I know.
During a pandemic.
Oh, wait, hang on. We got one more.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. We got one more. And after that, we actually have one more thing after that. There you go.
Good catch.
Thank you. Is that it?
Who would have thought that R-list names would be so much more unpronounceable than Star Wars names?
Yes.
And Joshua says, perfect, it's an honor.
Truly, who would have thought?
That was very
I hope everyone, I do hope in all sincerity that on R-list Sundays with R-lists, that those of you who have social media accounts will change your names on your social media accounts to your R-list names as a sign that you are celebrating Sundays with R-lists.
Oh, good. I've been getting a lot of emails with names in here. This is great.
Great.
I love it.
All right. Should we start the...
If you don't send an email, you're not going to get a photo. I need your name and I need your address. We should start the episode, though.
We should start. Okay, so we'll go to Amazon Prime and look up Mariah Carey's Holiday Sketchtacular. This was made in 2015, 8 episodes. It was produced for Funny or Die.
And let's make it very clear. 0 involvement from Ron Howard.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the director of this on Amazon Prime is listed as Funny or Die.
It's almost like whoever directed this has no reason to be ashamed.
Yeah.
Let's also
Anonymous.
make sure we have our closed captioning on too.
Yes.
Yeah. And starring Mariah Carey, Katie Couric, Brian Safi, with supporting actors Nick Swartzen.
Swartzen.
That's Swartzen.
His name is Swartzen.
Yeah, it's Nick Swartzen.
Swartzen.
It's
George,
pronounced.
All right, so we're ready for episode 1. Episode 1, Here Comes Santa Claus.
Hold on. I'm getting it up. Mariah Carey are the ones.
Let's give people a moment to find it. This is season 1.
Give me a moment to see if Domino's is still delivering.
Also, people are asking if this was directed by The Mandalorian, and the answer is no.
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 Not The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian has talked about directing some Funny or Die projects.
Yes.
But Mando did not have a hand in this.
I do want to say this looks like its ranking on Amazon Prime is 5 out of 6 stars. Its IMDb rating is 5.4, and I believe that's out of 10. This was made in 2015, and this is listed as season 1, implying the possibility that there could be a season 2 in the offing.
Okay, and here's another thing that Ron Howard just texted me.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Howard, I don't know why he would have this knowledge, but he is scrubbing through these files to check them before we start watching. And he believes that something got messed up at Funny or Die, and they have posted rough cuts. He believes that the video files that are streaming on Amazon right now are not the final cuts. These are rough.
All right.
Well, you know what? I released rough cuts. I released rough cuts of episodes 4, 5, and 6 multiple times in theaters. I find it highly relatable that Amazon Prime would release these.
You're watching the 1977 work print of Mariah Carey's Holiday Sketchtacular.
Thanks, Ron, for chiming in.
Ron.
I hope that meeting goes great.
Me too. I love Ron. He's a good guy. He's really, truly a great friend.
What a great guy.
All right, are we going to start this? Watto?
We're starting?
If you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Episode 1, watch
1,
now.
2, 3.
Another episode 1. Who thought we would get another episode 1?
I believe that is UCB's own Glenn Boozan.
Glenn Boozan was on a Herald team.
Yes. I bet we could probably get Glenn on if we wanted.
We definitely could. We should bring her on to talk about Mariah Carey's Holiday Sketchtacular in what is now an Arliss live stream series, but used to be a Star Wars live stream series.
Now, I don't have Glenn's number, but maybe one of someone else here might. I'm not sure.
I
don't know if I do, but I'm using my phone to film this. So.
Yeah.
And Ron is saying something very strange. But he implored me to share this with our audience. Ron Howard is saying, and I quote directly, I'm changing 0 words from this text. Ron is saying, make it clear Ron has nothing to do with any of them except the middle 4.
I also want everyone to know that when this goes up on YouTube, this will be a separate file labeled "The George Lucas Talk Show Watches the Mariah Carey Holiday Sketch Spectacular."
Well, it has to be. And Ron didn't write them. Ron wants us to know that he didn't write them.
Don't you think it would be better to just have it at the very end of the other thing so it makes sense?
I personally, I don't care if this makes sense.
I know this.
I just think that this should exist as something that you watch all 6 hours or whatever, and then you get to this and you follow along on the journey.
It's a little cookie, like making it to the end of an Arliss episode and getting to see the no athletes were harmed.
Okay.
I think George.
I'm looking at These are great. Actually, these are great to see. These like New York City location shots.
Yes.
With people on the streets. That's actually, there's something about it that's very, it's very kind of melancholy to watch this now. Just all the people interacting.
Now, I believe
stuff like
in Los Angeles. Am I incorrect?
Really?
I don't know. This doesn't look like
that. I believe that is because that says 5th Street down there.
Yeah.
I thought one of the earlier shots did look like New York, though. There was something in the earlier shot. So this is all LA?
Those are California license plates on that car, yes.
Oh, that's too bad.
But some of it must be New York. I believe the interiors are New York because there's a lot of New York people in this.
Maybe the middle 4 episodes were in New York. I mean, Glenn is one of those classic bi-coastal UCB movers and shakers.
I'll also say this. Ron is letting me know that he was hired the day before and had no creative input. He was young and needed money.
Okay, so Ron wants us to know. Let me just speed round again. Ron wants us to know he's only responsible for the middle 4 episodes. These are rough cuts. He only had a day to prep, and he needed the money. These were not passion projects.
Ron Howard is also saying that in 2015 he was young and needed the money.
I mean, look, whatever floats your boat, Ron. But your birth certificate.
Look, I guess that directing the movie Cocoon really did change his outlook on what it is to be young. And we were finished with the first episode.
Auto playing the second. We're right on to the second.
It's auto playing the second.
And I want to make it clear, these episodes have no credits. It's weird for Ron to be this self-conscious about us watching them. But this is definitely, I'm seeing a rough cut here. This looks like animatics.
I'll tell you something that that I know as someone who had no connection to this series.
Of course.
This series was originally when the offers went out to actors for this,
yes,
it was made clear that this was a non-union contract.
Sure.
But there were so many Screen Actors Guild members who were already connected to it that a lot of the cast of smaller parts all just assumed, well, I'm just going to say yes to it, and they'll sort it out if it's a problem.
Right.
And once production had already basically either begun or had began to was about to happen, SAG found out about it, and they basically the production company basically announced, no one is in trouble. This is now a SAG production, but don't do it again. So this started as a non-union production starring Mariah Carey.
Ron just texted me. He also wants us to know that he didn't produce either, as if that changes the perception.
Anything.
He was just a hired gun director, didn't write, only middle 4 episodes. These are rough cuts, and he had a day to prep.
So, George, did you talk to Ron about this?
No, I've never talked to Ron about this. I just know that because producers hear stuff about stuff that gets produced.
Sure.
Now, this episode is more or less full animation.
Correct.
Now, although it looks like they've skimped on keyframes.
It might be a rough cut. You're saying.
Oh, is that what this means? This might be like an animatic that we're seeing.
It might. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
George,
it's not very smooth in between certain movements.
No, it's got a very sketchy quality to it, not like the sketch-tacular.
People are asking for a stretch goal, George, and I think it should be, if we make 2,000, they want you to sing "All I Want for Christmas Is You."
You can do it.
All right.
What
are we at now?
We're at 1983. I'm going to say you sing it. No music in the background, though, because that'll get this pulled down.
We're at the year that Return of the Jedi hit theaters. And Amazon is now auto-playing for me an ad for Love Life. What's the show called?
I don't know, but I will say this. Ron just texted me that he's making himself late to the meeting because of this.
Great.
All right. Well, now I'm watching a commercial for
Modern Love, an unsuccessful disliked TV series that still somehow has been renewed for another season.
I got a commercial for My Spy.
I did not get a commercial. So once your guys' commercials are done, let's start at the same
We're
time.
here. We're watching Brian Safi. This is Cooking with Mariah Carey.
Okay.
All right. And are we in the middle four now?
Yes.
All right. So we are in Ron Howard territory.
I think this has that unmistakable Ron Howard touch.
Right. So I believe these were studio interiors shot in New York City.
Here's another Ron Howard update. I truly think maybe when Go90 went down, Crackle asked for files and everyone had deleted the files. They just gave them rough cuts where were the only files they had. No, this was not Ron. Safi's an LA native.
Yes. We are still $17 away from 2000, in which case George sings All I Want for Christmas Is You.
And I'm still one item away from completing my Domino's coupon.
And if you donate 25, you get a signed photo from Robert Wuhl, personalized.
Ron is changing his opinion. He's now saying he did direct this. So Ron somehow is not even recognizing his own work.
Is this a rough cut that we're seeing of episode 3? Doesn't look rough to me. I think the animation looked a little bit stylized in a way that could have been a rough cut in episode 2.
Yes.
But this has chirons and transitions. We just had a kind of lens flare transition that looks fully rendered.
I forgot to put this on for episode 2.
Oh no. Well, now this episode 3 is a cooking show parody.
Yes.
And it's 4.5. No, this is one of the longer episodes. 6 minutes long.
This one. This has that sort of epic quality that only Ron Howard Productions can give.
And he just named a cookie Mariah Cookie. That's fun.
That's actually a very funny joke.
I'd encourage everybody who, if you're making cookies tonight, why don't you call them Mariah Cookies?
Good.
And post videos of yourself singing Mariah Carey songs to a cookie while eating the cookie.
Do it. Do it.
There's no incentive for that. It's just one of those things that's like, put it on a TikTok. I don't know.
Did you get my Revenge of the Sith reference, George?
What was it?
Do it. Do it.
Do it. And there are cheese doodles and Mariah is doing some pretty solid deadpan work here. She's playing it straight in a way that I think is helping to sell the comedy of it.
Ron Howard is saying there may or may not be insane stories about the one-day experience of making these.
Well,
I feel like Ron should share those stories. He should put up
Ron.
Or get out.
Yeah, would love to hear some of those stories.
Yes. And I remind Ron that sharing those stories would be for charity.
Yeah, it'd be for the food bank for New York City.
A great
helping people who need help. Also, it feels like Ron seems to have lots of stories to talk about a thing that none of us really have that much to say about.
No, it's almost like Ron is the one who should be part of this. Or even just like maybe another director who feels comfortable speaking on Ron's behalf.
Yeah, if someone could call up with a fake name and disguise their voice and they don't have to identify themselves.
I agree.
The only people who would know who it was have long ago stopped working in show business.
Like, are we willing to say that Ron could feel free to call up either Watto or Patrick Connor, and he will be put on speakerphone, and Ron Howard can share whatever stories he wants,
or can call into this video right now and just not be on screen, but disguise his voice, whatever Ron wants.
Just turn the camera or wear a mask, which is something that's responsible these days anyway. Wear a mask.
Ron has the link to the room, so now it's up to Ron.
Okay,
it's up to him. He's late for his meeting anyway.
Yeah, guys, we still have not hit that last 17. It's like you don't want to hear George sing.
We need to hit that 17.
It's only 1631 is what we need technically.
Yeah, I'll be so insulted if we don't get that 16.
And also, you still get a Wuhl signature.
Yeah,
you might gone from the stream, but donate over 25. You're getting Bobby, baby.
Bobby, baby, Bobby, baby, Bobby, baby. I've missed a few beats of this, so I'm not exactly sure what the game of this scene is.
I gotta say, George, this Skywalker wine is really doing the trick.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, also helps that Watto forgot to eat a meal before the live stream started.
Oh, it's happening. There it is. Oh, yeah, he started singing it. And then she cuts him off and says, it's better if you don't.
Brian,
now they're wrapping up. They're wrapping up. And we've only got 23 seconds left in this episode.
What's going on?
Oh my God!
Why?
Oh.
Why did you do this? Why did you do this?
Why is JD Amato here?
JD Amato.
Why would you do this?
Well, because we were talking
right now.
There's no reason.
There are many reasons. I could
to help people for charity. We're in episode 4, right? Episode 4.
I could give you 1,983.69 reasons to be doing this right now.
We are now under $7 we need to get to 2,000, guys.
Joe Firestone and Jordan Klepper, 2 degrees.
George and Watto, is there, do we want to start going through the back catalogs of the things that you guys did in your early 20s to like pay rent for the month?
Yeah, I got a perfect track record. It's called fucking Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I'm 2 for 2, baby.
There's Alex Song.
Been said, please do not watch the Crackle original Thanksgiving.
James the Third.
Matt Cutler.
A bunch of ringers, the all-star cast.
I don't know why this is happening. This was such a wonderful
stream. We were talking about what Go 90 content has moved over to Crackle.
Yes.
And we realized that this had moved over to Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Then you told us not to watch it, and that was when fate became destiny.
All I know is that Go 90 got added to the mix as a joke, and then suddenly this was turned into a stretch goal. And that's when I started chiming in and saying, do not. This is not worth anyone's time.
You didn't say that.
Ron Howard said that.
Ron Howard said that.
Ron Howard said that.
I don't know what he said. I'm talking about I separately reached out to other people.
Oh, you should have reached out to us, JD. We would have done it.
You could have reached out to us directly. We would have read your text on air and said we were relaying everything Ron Howard sent to us.
Also, I want to say we did pass 2,000, George.
Okay.
Someone was asking if Joe Firestone is that small or Jordan Klepper is that tall, and the answer is both, right?
The answer is both. Definitely both.
This is a classic 3PO and R2 situation where you play off the heights, play off the extremities.
Also, well, I don't have to go there.
I was going to say I think the exact same thing you thought about saying.
Now,
yeah, I'll say it.
I have a question. No, I have a question, JD. I have a question. Okay. Now, I'm looking at this, and this episode is 4 minutes long. The last episode was 6 minutes long. Are these rough cuts, or were they really variable in terms of running time?
So, I may or may not have gotten a call like the day before.
Wait, who is this presenting all the Grammy cookies?
What's that?
Who is that tall drink of water presenting?
Oh my God, I forgot about all that.
Like you're in this as an extra, JD.
The amount of stories from that one day are absolutely wild. And I cannot, in good faith, share any of them on this public forum.
Why? It's only Ron Howard's career on the line. You have nothing to lose.
But all of your assumptions about how this day were are probably correct. That's all I can say.
Isn't it fun how, like, all these like little short form comedy sketches that were done under new media contract now live on streaming platforms as if they were real TV shows?
It's
but
insane.
The pay structure is still hiding under these fucking false contracts.
I can only imagine that if this were to get renewed for a second season, that this would be perfect if you just block out the sides of it and just imagine a vertical format of this.
Yeah.
Episodes are all under 10 minutes long. These are Quibbies before Quibi was Quibi.
I mean, Jordan Klepper was built for portrait mode.
Oh my God, Jordan! If Jordan Klepper isn't on a Quibi already, that's why that failed as a platform.
Full body.
He is a walking, talking Quibi.
He is. Because sometimes he even lies down to take a nap. JD, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm drinking George Lucas wine.
Oh, what is that?
Skywalker Rosé, baby.
Watto, didn't you just open that bottle?
Wait,
No.
which episode are you guys on right now?
We're about to start episode 5. Episode 4 just ended. Episode 5 is starting now.
I think episode 5 has some legitimately very funny stuff in it because it was just performers being weirdos in front of
the great
Mariah Carey.
The great Alex song, one of the best in the business. Would you say that episode 5 is kind of the Empire Strikes Back of this? A high point for the franchise in terms of maturity.
I never
there's Michael Caine and
ever be speaking about this thing I did
Michael
for like
Caine.
$500 6 years ago.
Michael Cruz Caine.
The great Michael Cruz Caine.
And the great Eric Gersten on piano.
These casts are unbelievable.
Actually, legit, I do think these guys, I mean, there's a bit that is coming up that you have to imagine in real life what it was like to see this performer who I know and people who my friends also know performing this in front of Mariah Carey.
I am going to reach out to Michael and let him know we were watching this.
Right.
Let's take a cruise.
Now, Michael Cruz Caine, High Maintenance was mentioned earlier, the HBO series. You can see Michael Cruz Caine on at least one episode of High Maintenance.
The great
playing a crew member.
Voice of a songbird.
Very funny man.
Very deeply funny man.
Now, JD, what's the third girl on the couch? It's Alex, Mariah, and
that's Karen Hammerberg.
Yeah, Karen Hammerberg.
Also on Herald Night. How many of these people are on Herald teams? Michael Caine on it. We're getting to a lot of people who are on Herald teams here.
JD, were you on a Herald team?
I was on 2 Herald teams.
Okay.
Very good.
Don't say that with shame. Say it with pride.
Published author Aaron Jackson, whose new book can be ordered. Even if you're in quarantine, you can order his book and have it sent to where you are.
We got to push Daddy Bezos over the edge to become a trillionaire. Every little purchase counts. We got to make Bezos a trillionaire so he can keep renewing modern love. We need as many seasons of modern love as we can get.
Oh, 1 second. My computer's about to shut off.
Oh, great.
Oh, jeez. I got a meeting. I got the computer shutting off.
Why would his computer be about to shut off?
Well, George, you see laptops, you usually have to plug them in. I know you don't know a lot about this. I just want to make sure.
I don't care about laptops.
George, it's getting dark in Marin County.
It really is.
I know.
It's only 6:20 there. Why is it so dark?
Because of the coronavirus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this episode is almost over.
Okay, so I feel like this is maybe the thing that you were talking about. We're looking at Ken Beck in a garbage bag. Mariah Carey, is this what you
playing
were?
A man named Johnny Toilet.
Yeah. Can you imagine in real life watching this play out in real time?
Ken Beck, who long time fans may know as Vinegar Al, playing clarinet, wearing multiple garbage bags in front of Mariah Carey.
Oh,
He closes out the episode, doesn't he?
Now, how much of this is scripted, JD?
This was like medium.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I had nothing to do with any of the creative. I literally was running the day before.
Weird. That's so weird. Ron Howard said the exact same thing.
Yeah, I had to
JD
replace Ron.
JD, it was like a reverse solo. JD, what are the impediments to a second season of this happening?
Interest from all parties and the audience.
All right, episode 6.
Amazon is asking me if I'm still watching, as if they're incredulous that I'm going to finish this season.
Katie Couric. What was it like working with Katie Couric?
It was weirdly intense.
Was
she had a lot of
the lighting is very different on this one than in the previous two.
I remember there was a lot of specific questions about the script, which I had nothing to do with, and I could not answer.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this a different location?
No, it was all shot in the exact same room.
This is the same room?
Yeah.
But now it's been made to look like an apartment.
Yes.
Can Watto share a story very quickly?
Yes.
Sure, go for it, Watto.
Watto has a friend who was briefly working as a correspondent on a deep cable comedy series that got canceled before his segments aired.
Yeah, I have a recommendation for what to binge watch at the end of next week.
Yeah, I know where you're gonna fucking go with this. But Watto's friend was sent to cover VidCon, the convention for YouTubers and social media stars. And Watto's friend was in the lobby of the hotel checking in, and there were all these like 17-year-old Vine stars who were being mobbed by literal like tens, just screaming and fawning as if it were a day's night. And then Watto's friend turned around and saw Katie Couric flanked by like 8 giant security guards with her head down, clearly trying not to be noticed. And then about halfway through her walk through the lobby, she noticed that everyone was paying attention to the social media stars and not her. And she looked weirdly crestfallen.
I get it. Listen, I get it.
Now,
changing times.
I'm hearing from an unnamed source who was involved in the production, who is not in this room right now. I would like to make it clear, is not in this room right now.
Okay.
Saying that he is pretty sure he remembers Mariah needing to take a nap in the middle of shooting. And then waiting for her to come back so they could start back up. I don't want anyone to react either way, but I just want to put it out there.
I'm not.
Sounds like she was pulling a Patrick Connor.
No.
Was that a blind item? Was that a blind item about you, and you just put Mariah Carey's name in place of it?
She had
Did you tell a story about yourself?
I don't even know who has control to put that hashtag up there.
Well, this one has some very interesting actors in it.
Episode 7.
Oh.
Episode 7.
Interesting.
Interesting.
There's James Coker from Coker and Stratton.
Of course. Glenn Boozin is back. And who is this man with the eyes on fire? Eyes full of light.
This guy looks like his suit is padded, but he will eventually catch up to that weight.
People in the chat saying, "What a handsome man."
I think he's very handsome.
I think we'd all agree with that one.
5 years is a long time.
He has an innate soulful quality that really lends him.
I truly think someone might have accidentally deleted all the files, but then contractually had to put something up somewhere and delivered rough cuts.
So, what hypothetically, what would the differences be between the rough cuts and what we're watching? The final cuts and what we're watching right now.
I don't know if I was ever shown any edit of any of these. I just can't imagine. There's some details that I noticed I can't imagine was
Corey Palmer.
I think a lot of people.
Connecticut.
Did Corey Palmer shave for this part? Did Corey Palmer shave for this role? Riley Soliner?
Robot Riley. I gotta say, I feel like, I don't know, JD, if I were a friend of yours watching this for the first time, I would be wondering, how did I not get the call? Now, you have only ever existed on professional terms, so I wouldn't say that. But I would be like a good friend of yours.
I have a friend who was probably in the mix for that, and I guarantee that I probably reached out to. I bet if I searched my email.
Wow, it sounds like that guy is really bad at responding to messages.
Especially if they're from the day before.
Yes.
I also...
Anna Dresden, Emmy nominee.
Current
Saturday Night Live.
Star.
What were you going to say about hypothetical friends, JD?
I don't know. Is
that Lou Gonzalez?
I would be willing to bet that this is probably like a money laundering scheme. Because I don't think anyone was... I don't know. I can't speak to any of this.
Okay, fair enough.
This is a rogues gallery of...
It is actually funny how many amazingly talented, good people are in this.
Some of our best and brightest, yeah.
I have a question. Was
Yes.
Santa on Harold Knight?
I don't think so.
I believe the actor who plays Santa Claus in this was very briefly on Harold Knight, but then almost immediately got put on a weekend team.
Sure.
And this person's not a comedy person, right? The one with the good body?
With the good body, the good Santa body?
Of course not.
I think George might be a second ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, oh my gosh, that person, George,
yeah,
was in a short film that I made for a Comedy Central show called The President's Show.
Oh.
And I needed someone who was cut and buff, and I remembered this job, and I hired that person. And so I have some close friends of mine who spent a day with that person, 2 days with that person, both on this shoot and on that shoot.
I'll say this. Yeah. I believe I cast that man in that short film.
And remember, you asked if I knew anybody, and I said, actually, one person that I do know is this guy who was actually really nice when he worked on this thing.
All right, now, that was...
All right, I'm leaving. I have nothing to do with any...
No, hold on. We got that.
The last episode, I think you did more than the middle four because you did that last one.
Yeah.
So you did you didn't do the first two or the last one.
This is all theoretical, too. This is all theoretical. No one can really say who did any of it.
Well, there's no credits. This was directed by Funny or Die.
Yeah, Funny or Die collectively.
IMDb is user updated. It does not tell the truth.
Yeah, I've got some issues with some IMDb listings as well.
Yeah.
What was the thing you were going to mention that we should watch as a stretch goal for the next time?
Hypothetically.
Oh, I think there's some really good remote segments from Live with Nikki and Sarah.
This is what I'll say. I watch those on a regular basis, and I think they hold up. I think they're pretty fucking strong, all considered.
Or, here's the other thing. I know you're watching a lot of mainstream stuff.
Even without knowing the battles happening behind the scenes, I think they're decent comedy pieces.
I think there's also this small indie film that I know of that not a lot of people have seen. That takes place.
#1 film in Korea right now?
No, it takes place. Oh no. Oh, that would be dark.
It would be dark. I agree. No. Even darker than the thing we didn't say 10 minutes ago.
This is a project that I think it takes place in a Midwestern state somewhere. Maybe it's in the title. I don't know. I'll have to remember what the title is.
Are you talking about Alexander Payne's Nebraska?
Yes, no, it's a different one. But I'll see if I remember the title and if there's a license to watch it. But I think it's a feature film and maybe a debut feature that would be really interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just drudging up our past.
It's a debut feature.
Yeah. I don't feel, but I feel like it would be something that would have to be like. What was great about this was that it was just available through we had to press a few buttons and we were there because it's on Amazon Prime. Anyone with an Amazon Prime membership can watch this all day long.
Sure.
But it sounds like what JD.
Hey, and you know what? Hey, everybody, what is it suggesting you watch next?
Oh fuck! Wait, hold on. Oh, it was suggesting I watch the Ernie Kovacs show.
It suggested I watch
a television comedy.
It just suggested that I should watch Ilana Glazer's stand-up special.
No.
It sent me to Mariah's World season 1.
All right, I'm a half hour late for a meeting.
JD, do you know something?
What?
Alana was never on the Herald team.
Herald night.
Alana was never on Herald.
Alana never made that.
Never on Herald.
Abby and Alana were never on the Herald team.
Never on the
Herald team.
Abby and Alana were never on the Herald.
Never there.
Never. Or maybe they just didn't respond to the email in time.
Thank you so much for stopping by, JD.
Of course. I also have a friend who has some early stand-up sets on YouTube that you could probably watch.
I think once again, that friend has been pretty smart about limiting what sets still exist on YouTube.
But I think there's ways to find stuff that has been on YouTube and has been taken down since.
Thank you so much.
Very
We really appreciate it.
Goodbye. Thanks.
It was all
guys.
for a good cause. Thank you, JD.
I love you guys.
I love you too.
Love you too.
I know.
What a guy. What
I
a good-
know. We should have all said I know.
I know. We should have said I know.
Guys,
That's really funny.
we did it.
6 hours, 33 minutes.
Yeah.
And a breeze. I mean, at this point, honestly, a breeze. It felt like just breathing in and out to just do a quick 6:30.
Yeah.
Right?
I
no music,
don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I don't need to hang my stocking there upon the fireplace. Santa Claus won't make me happy with a toy on Christmas Day. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. You, baby Yoda. Oh, I won't ask for much this Christmas. I won't even wish for snow. I'm just gonna keep on waiting underneath the mistletoe. I won't make a list and send it to the North Pole for St. Nick. I won't even stay awake to hear those magic reindeer click. 'Cause I just want you here tonight, holding on to me so tight. What more can I do? Oh, baby, all I want for Christmas is you. You, baby Yoda. All the lights are shining so brightly everywhere, and the sound of children's laughter fills the air. Whoa! And everyone is singing. I hear those sleigh bells ringing. Santa, won't you bring me the one I really need? Won't you please bring my baby to me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want a lot for Christmas. This is all I'm asking for. I just want to see my baby standing right outside the door. Oh, I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. Oh, baby, all I want for Christmas is you. You, baby. All I want for Christmas is 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 you, baby. That's the end of the song. That's for charity.